Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Elongate, the social impact movement powered by crypto. This is our Tuesday live update, and I'm joined by two very special guests. We have Andy Lian, who's just been named non-executive chairman of the board, and Danijela, vice president of social impact and partnerships. Andy, Danijela, I'm super thrilled to have you both here on a live stream with me. I want to talk about all things social impact. So, Andy, if you don't mind, I want to just ask you what led you to join the team and what kind of future and potential do you see here with Elongate?
Hey, hi Alex. Good to see all of you as well. I think we have a good history. Before this, we have been talking for a long while. You know what I want to do in terms of giving back to the society. We
Right.
had good chats. In the beginning, I gave the most strangest advice to all of you. To separate the entity. To become a charity, to a foundation, and things like that. I think the journey has started ever since then, right? More from the doing good perspective. Why I have joined, I believe that we are all like-minded. We are all trying to do good. Lorenzo, where I had a lot of other meetings with him as well, we share the same goals as well. Is blockchain and crypto is able to do a lot more good. If we all work together, as an association, and of course with Elongate as our technology partner, that that could mean a lot of wonderful things, to all of us. So that is one of the reason why I joined. And of course, I've been talking to almost everyone in the team before this, informally as well. I think the bond and the brotherhood that we have formed in the last 2 to 3 months, especially so, um, the spur me and push me to take this up and make things a lot better. Thanks, Alex.
Amazing. Yeah, thank you. Now, I want to talk a little bit about social impact at Elongate and where it's going. So, to start off at a high level, the social impact arm of Elongate was founded with the purpose of delivering and increasing social impact through charitable donations and initiatives with the power of our community volunteers and our external partners. So, Danijela, maybe you can enlighten us a little bit kind of at a broad level, how is Elongate going to deliver this kind of impact to these worthy causes?
Well, first, thank you for having me, and big hi to all the viewers, and also thanks to Andy for joining us and also joining the board. Very happy to have him with us. Um, as you know, the EG Association was founded in Switzerland, and it's basically founded with the intention of delivering social impact and initiatives that are powered through our community members, but also through our partners. So, as the EGA, we do commit ourselves to the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals or agenda, which was basically adopted by the United Nations in 2015. And for those of you who don't know, the Sustainable Development Goals are a set of goals that aim to deliver 3 dimensions of sustainable development, which is economic, environmental, and social. So these are the type of initiatives that we want to build upon as well and deliver the social impact across the world.
Amazing. And as we both know, Andy, Danijela, crypto, blockchain, these are tools that can be used in a lot of different ways. How do you see the blockchain being used to build a better world?
Would Andy like to go, or do you want me to go ahead?
I think, Andy, do you have any thoughts on that?
Sure, no problem. I think we should walk the talk, and then we look at how things are really like. When we talk about crypto giving using the blockchain technology.
Mhm.
For myself, I have been um, the giving. So what I usually say and that's what I really do is that I donate more than I spend right now, right? But how can I actually do that? Not in terms of financially, but how can I do that by giving more effective donations. It is actually through crypto, because in our line of work and in our line of engagement, there are there are projects that we work closely with. For example, there are projects that I invest in personally as well. Sometimes when the investment did well, you could have some money, on a month-to-month basis, for example. What I do is that whatever the gains that I have, I put them into crypto, and then I give them out in crypto. I can give them to different parts of the world. I can pass it on to Philippines, for example, that we do it on a monthly basis, to grassroots communities. It is because of crypto I could get more returns because of the investments that I get. And then in return, I could use crypto to send the money to them a lot faster and with a lot lesser cost. Of course, it depends on what we eventually give them in, right? So for my case, it's more straightforward. I can do that because of crypto. It's real time, it's fast, and everything is tracked on the blockchain, right? So you just imagine, I'm just an individual, right? Some of my friends will say, "Hey, man, let me contribute to your charitable means," right? Everything is on the wallet. I couldn't say that, oh, I actually use the money to buy more BTCs, for example. It is all being given to different people and converted. Some of them converted into fiat to do the local help. So all these things are made possible with crypto, and all the tracking and all the transparency, behind this are actually being seen in a wallet. Again, imagine I'm just an individual. If we are running this as a association, we are as transparent as we can get. And again, that is how the cryptocurrency and the blockchain technology can help the charitable space, and also doing good in a faster, more effective manner. That is how I see it.
Yeah, thank you, Andy. And I think that makes a lot of sense. I want to get into, we got some questions here from the audience. So here, Danijela, what are the next goals in terms of social impact? What are some of the initiatives that EGA has lined up?
In terms of goals from the social impact perspective, we definitely have a few different aspects of how we want to tackle it. One of them is also mainly through our community engagement and our network of volunteers that will be delivering their actions. I always say that people who are on the ground, they know the situation best. So they're, in a way, the experts on the ground who know what type of actions are needed. So this is definitely where we want to expand on, and we want to empower our own community members to do so. So in terms of community initiatives and what type of social impact we are doing, we already have a few in the back that have been done that we're also looking forward to share with our community. One of them, especially in the Czech Republic, when there was a tornado that hit communities around Czechia, and our community member Marek actually went out and did some initiative or activity by himself, which he picked up on, and we decided to support him as well. So this is just one part of the community and how powerful they are. And let's not also forget, basically what he did was he mobilized a few other people to join him in the action. So we provided the support in terms of financial means, and he was the one that actually went on the ground, got his hands dirty in a way, and did to support the rebuilding of houses that were destroyed. So this was just one of the beautiful initiatives that was done by our community members. We have actions currently in Brazil that are being done, in Indonesia, in India, and we're really looking forward to spread across all around the world to support different initiatives.
Yeah, speaking of mobilization and getting your hands dirty, right? What are some ways Elongate is going to drive this kind of community engagement and the volunteerism?
Yeah, so we have continent managers who are supporting us in the initiatives, especially in the project management when it comes to the activities, because there are a lot of logistical let's say, aspects of it that come into place. Also ensuring that the money is spent right, that there's transparency around it, that we can fully trust these community members who are on the ground, that the money is really going towards these social impact causes. So we're definitely looking at support from our continent managers, but also just building this network of volunteers who will be ready to go. Let's say a natural disaster hits, as it was the case in Czechia, or as we're currently seeing with the wildfires around the world. And we already have this network of volunteers who are on the ground. We can send money and they can just go directly support the people and bring, if not at least some short-term relief or immediate relief to the people that were affected.
Andy, I got a question here for you. What are you most excited about in the short to midterm future? What do you see as the accomplishments we should be striving for in that time period?
I think there are a lot of things that we look at. Like Daniel mentioned about the social impact stuff that we are doing on the ground. How the community can actually work together to make things a lot more efficient, right? I think when we look at the short term and also the midterm goals, the more immediate thing that I should be looking at together with the board member is the education portion, the purpose portion. Because many of us, with or without cryptocurrency, we know how charitable organizations work, or charitable deeds, how they work and how the money is being contributed and so forth. But what is really missing is the education portion. How cryptocurrency can really bring social impact to the next level. For example, how cryptocurrency can help UN in some of their initiatives, for example. So I think the short term and the midterm goal would be education and creating more of such awareness. Because if we are looking at the awareness in a longer perspective, not just a midterm kind of a goal, we should be also looking at possibilities, bringing in governments to work together with us, or we can also look at how other organizations can donate and take part in some of the activities that we are driving. Because right now it's very much a one-way street, right? Technology guys do well. Their initiative that we are going to fund, but this is all one way, right? But if we can look at the roadmap slightly longer, above midterm, we should be looking at money inwards as well from donation proceeds, for example, and also working on higher level, not just we in the past we donate to some of the larger organizations. Nothing wrong doing that. It's a preference. It's also a short-term goal, for example. But in the longer term, I hope the board member would also agree. Apart from education, we should really reach out to governments to see how we can better help them in terms of some of these crypto needs. Help them how to form a more effective crypto regime and also a charity regime. And again, that goes back to the social impact as well, right? So government working directly with them, I believe the kind of social impact that we'll bring to specific region will be a lot bigger, more effective, productivity will be increased, and our dollar spend would be a lot more worth it, in the longer run. So I think I've answered quite a bit on short term, midterm, and a bit of a long term. That's how I see it. I hope it makes sense to.
It makes sense to me. I think there's a lot of wisdom in that, especially when you're talking about institutional adoption. And it's kind of, Danijela, going back to you, speaking more largely about strategic partnerships. What is the roadmap for that, and what does that look like when we're building these causes?
Yeah, as Andy earlier mentioned, yes, indeed, our beginning of social impact activities, or the impact in general by Elongate, was started by donating to bigger organizations. As I said, nothing wrong with that, and I'm very happy with how some of our partnerships have been developing. For example, also strategically, we want to support certain initiatives where it's, let's say, curing a disease, which was with EB Research, currently one of our partners, and continue being supporting. So this is one of our goals also as a social impact long-term goal, or hopefully even shorter term than long-term, finding a cure for how to treat this disease.
Mm-hmm.
Then secondly, as Andy said, definitely strategically looking at how we can increase awareness about crypto, and how we can actually incorporate this transparency, efficiency, and speedy transactions in terms of crypto as well, by donating, or doing those transactions in certain countries all over the world, would be another plan or goal. So we're definitely looking forward also to continue working with you, Andy, and explore these ways of how we can really tackle into that. And then, of course, strategic partnerships in terms of also, again, working with local smaller organizations. Again, as Andy said, also educating them on crypto, how they can utilize it, but perhaps also how Elongate as an entity itself can utilize certain tech developments in order to increase the use of crypto in general, and really make the most out of it, so that we are really heading towards a better and more efficient way of working, especially in terms of international organizations and delivering this social impact.
That makes a lot of sense. Danielle, we've got some people that are asking, they know Andy's background, they're familiar with him. They're asking if you can kind of just give a quick overview of where you come from, how you found crypto, and what your previous experience is. I know it was touched on in the Yahoo article, but maybe you can just elaborate a bit.
Yeah, so basically, I do come mostly from a public sector and nonprofit field or area of work. The past 2 years, I did work in a diplomatic mission in Jerusalem, also managing projects. So I do have quite a solid experience in terms of how project management works, from getting proposals, which we currently are having and doing so with our community members, to making sure that the money is spent right, to the whole latest part of implementation, then following up on it. So that's one part of it. I did work also for an NGO, which is called Anglo Youth, which is actually using sports as a tool to deliver a lot of different initiatives and address the sustainable development goals and challenges in general, from education, unemployment, environmental issues, to health awareness, among others. As I said, and maybe some are aware who have been working in this area, when it comes to international organization institutions, it is true that they are very slow in terms of how they operate. Some of them are very still old school, having old school ways of working, which is also another way why I got into Elongate and working on social impact here, because I think we can really deliver our initiatives and projects way quicker than it is the case with organizations. But of course, we have to think that this is taxpayers' money when it comes to institutions. So you do have to make sure that money is spent in the most, let's say, transparent way as well, and to make sure that it goes to the right ways. But yeah.
Yeah, that public sector experience is great, and I really value your experience as a diplomat as well. I think that brings a lot. So we're excited to have both of you here. I want to come back to some of the local impact that we're building, and either one of you can answer as you see fit. But what kind of localized programs do you see us kind of building from the ground up, that especially ones that support social entrepreneurship?
Do you want me to go ahead, or do you want
Sure,
Andy
go
to
ahead.
touch
Yeah.
upon it? Or we can both. I don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead, Daniela.
So yeah, in terms of social entrepreneurship in general, I think social entrepreneurs are really some of those big change makers in general in society, not only driving economic impact but also social. So they are really not just driven by economical gains. They really want to be built upon and share this social impact across their own societies. And I really see true value in these type of businesses. So I think they're really, in terms of what they can bring to their societies, not only again as said economical gains, but also social and educational, where they're educating and building awareness around certain causes in their own communities. So I'm hoping as we go on that we will have a program that will be supporting social entrepreneurship, because once you have them, going, once you support a person, a entrepreneur, they can support their own family, and then also it's kind of like a snowball effect. They will affect their whole community, and they can support others. They can also, some of these programs can come with some conditionality to it, where they have to, let's say, commit to training another entrepreneur, etc., etc. It's just really a snowball effect that we can have through social entrepreneurship. And Andy, maybe if you want to share anything in terms of that, I'm happy to hear your thoughts.
Sure, sure. On my end, I think whenever we talk about social entrepreneurship, a lot of which, and in fact, many of the companies are doing this, in a slightly unsustainable way, because they have a certain agenda that they want to build forth, telling people that they are socially responsible and things like that. But many times all these initiatives are not very practical, you know. So I may not want to touch on that portion of things, but I want to see a big switch, back into our crypto community, the crypto space. All of us are in the crypto space. Many of the crypto entrepreneurs are just, maybe using charity as a marketing tool for themselves. I hope that our social impact movement can include some of these crypto business owner, empower them, using our technology, empower them with the ideology, how they should really operate, and then again the word to use is to walk the talk, and then I want to see more actions. Action speaks a lot louder, so they can impact their immediate manager, tell them how to create more social impact within their own organization, how they can really use their social impact and their community people that are supporting them to do more good. Because if we can start to tell people that crypto can do more good in a more collective manner, I think the impact for social entrepreneurship would be a lot bigger than what we can imagine right now. Because as we talk, we are not just talking about the elongate technology. We are talking about EG association as a whole. Because we are registered in Switzerland. Our roadmap is very clear based on what I see. There's a lot of other things that we can do, to create more impact. So I hope to bridge that gap, and then get in more crypto companies on board, especially those that do not have any form of a social responsibility program, or they don't have any form of charity reflections, or taxation, for example. They should come on board, and join our initiative, and join the association as a corporate member, for example, to push things through. So that's how I see it.
Yeah. So talking more about, I think that makes a lot of sense. And I wanted to kind of dig more into what are some of the ways that you see your impact being the most felt, and what are some of the kinds of impact the community should be looking forward to as we kind of journey from the short to the mid to the long term?
Sure. I think uh, there are two parts to this. Part one would be more on a personal basis, because, as you know, I share quite a fair bit of crypto thought leadership in the space. So I would still continue to do what I can within my means to donate and help out grassroots communities in terms of donations. That's from something from my own initiative.
Mm-hmm.
Started doing this more actively at about close to 2 years ago, actually. So that part I will continue to do it. What I would love to see in EG Association coming in is a few things. One of which I talk about is engaging with governments. All right, that's number one. Number two, I hope to see that we open up a certain level of membership, you know, uh, to the crypto space, for example, and to the traditional markets, for example. Use the technology and then use our ideology, right? Some of the tech companies will say that, hey man, I'm if I work with Elongate, there's a conflict of interest, but that's not true, because again, if every one of us work together, the impact will be a lot bigger. And then if they do not see that portion as viable, we have the EG Association here. We don't talk about just the technology. They can work together with the same initiative and same goals, right? And then again, the impact will be a lot bigger. And then in a longer and more constant basis, I still think that cryptocurrency donation and blockchain technology is not something that is really that palatable to everybody, right? So the continuous education from the EG Association and each and every one of us are actually very important. By doing that, again, the impact will be a lot bigger than just, us shouting, let's do that together, let's do that together. I think action speaks a lot louder than whatever that we are trying to do now. And then maybe my very, very last point is apart from all of us working together, and then within the association, I also hope to see another part, how this association can evolve. For example, starting different chapters in different parts of the world,
Mm-hmm.
getting more known in different parts of the world, because different charity regulations might some of them might be very friendly to what we are trying to do. Some could even give you something like, if you find a donation of $1 million, they would match another $1 million, for example. So I just want to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that in the longer run, whatever impact that we are trying to do is maximized. Whatever donations or whatever money that we are putting through the channels, it can be also maximized through such a collaborative model. Yeah, that's how I
Yeah,
see it.
yeah. I want to bring it back to a more personal note, if we can. Um, we have those sustainable development goals that we want to hit, and we want to make sure that our impact is as broadly and as deeply felt as possible. But are there any specific areas or types of impact that you're going to be especially excited to see Elongate do, whether it's poverty or human rights or food insecurity? For me, I'm going to be really excited about anything we do in the area of providing education to people who don't have it. I'd love to hear from either of you if there's anything close to your heart. Maybe Andy, you have anything?
Well, to me, I think it's more of poverty and education. So these two of which are closer to my heart. I also want to have a special focus on also helping countries, for example, like Singapore and Hong Kong, right? Many times, people in other parts of the world, they would think that, oh, Singapore is just a developed country. They do not need help. The government can take care of everybody. But this is not true, because those who are doing well in the country, like Singapore, they are doing well. They can take care of themselves. Cost of living is high, in Singapore. But because the cost of living is high, the those who are not doing well needs a lot more help than other countries, if you really do that in a more comparative manner. So I hope to see us also trying to do some initiative to help some of the specific sector or grassroots sector in the more developed countries. And then in terms of education, again, I could look at this from a few approaches. One is from a more academic approach. Then the other one is more from a publication approach. So both of them, I think it is in my roadmap that we should educate more through schools. We should also
Hmm.
educate more through publication, and of course, we talk about poverty as well. I think this is something very very close to our hearts. If we can help to build more schools, we should build more schools. If we can help to change some of the environment in some parts of the country, some parts of the world, for example, we should actually, put our hands there and get things going. If we need to build school, we build schools. If we need to build homes, we build homes. We just make
Yep.
things a lot better, than what we can see right now, especially when right now the COVID period, things are actually not any better. So, if we can lend a helping hand to some of these areas, I think we would do a lot of good, and we have a lot of good karma, man.
Daniela, how about you? Any particular areas of impact close to your heart that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, definitely. I can second your note on education, which I think is key really to anything else, and empowering young girls and boys around the
Hmm.
world, educating them, providing them these opportunities that they can actually go to school. Because a lot of third world countries, they are, you have parents that are economically incapable of supporting their children, so to go to school, so they have to actually go in the field and work. So education is definitely something not only that empowers people, but only really raises communities out of the poverty that they are in. Um,
Absolutely.
and that also boils back down to also environment, because if we don't have a sound planet in the upcoming years, then what is everything else for? So those two, and then of course economic empowerment, because if there is no economy flourishing or people working and making money, you know there won't be anything else. So I think that's one of the most important things, as well as said, in addition to education. And also another reason why I said why I would really like to support social entrepreneurs. And it doesn't have to be big companies. It really can be just small women, men, young youth, people that are just out of college that need support, but they don't have the means, and we can find ways of supporting them. So those are really the three, let's say two, but three that I really put a lot of emphasis on.
Thank you. Andy, coming back to you, are there any last questions that you wanted to answer, or any points you wanted to hit home for the audience?
Um, sure. I think I'm always being very truthful, in the space. So this morning my time, I have received a lot of messages from the community. Some are good, of course. Some are not so good, but I would love to really address this. So number one, the EG Association, we are a separate entity. We are really trying to do good through social impact. The role, I'm not going to touch on the role of the association, but it is very clear that we are registered in Switzerland, and our plans will also be subsequently rolled out and shared with the general public. The EG Association, in some ways, I would love to emphasize this. We are not a marketing tool, for the elongate technology or the elongate price. I received at least 5 to 6 messages about this. Is this a marketing tool? Is it a marketing channel? Where you guys are trying to do that. My answer to them, very straightforward, is we are not. You know, and the third thing is, for myself, I'm the non-executive chairman of EG Association. I advise the board, and advise Lorenzo, especially. So some of my views, if the board meeting is recorded, I can be quite rowdy, but what I am doing is to make sure that things are well aligned from a social impact perspective, so that we can really make full use of the money that is being raised, and in the future more money being donated into the association, and working together with different governments, for example. There are also some other comments like there are a lot of changes in the elongate structure that I'm not sure how to comment because I'm not I don't have the full information, but based on what I see, the changes are there because there is a need to strive better and do better, right? So
Right.
again, without having all the knowledge of what exactly happened, I still see that in such a short time frame, Elongate gave more than $3 million away. And this is a big deal because in the longer run, you will see more impactful donations that is coming out from the association perspective. And a lot newer technology development is also coming out from the elongate fintech part of the company. So please be a lot more patient, and please do not see the association as a marketing tool for the price of the token, because we are not. We are governed by another set of rules and regulation that we have to follow, in Switzerland. So things are not as straightforward as you can see. All right. And again, right now is a very good period in the crypto space. I envision that the team will do a lot more in the coming months. So please be a lot more patient. And if you have any questions, my Twitter is always open. I can always give you a very straightforward answer. So that's how I see it, man. The changes are here to stay, and I think the changes that happen right now is for the better, right? So that's how I see it, Alex. Happy to take
Well
any
said.
questions that are on the floor, man. Not a problem at
Well
all.
said. No, there hasn't been a ton of questions put forth. Just a lot of people excited and giving ideas, like organizing charity raids or drives for the homeless, charity events in their local cities. I'm seeing several people from Singapore that are really, really excited that you're out
Really?
here representing, and they're very excited about that.
Is it like a president election?
Yeah, and then just some other questions that are more on the tech side that we can answer in a different live stream, of course.
Sure.
But yeah, just a lot of people that are really excited about this. I guess I'll pitch it to you guys for closing thoughts. I'll go to Danijela and then let Andy close it out. Danijela, what are some of the things coming up next that people should be looking forward to and getting excited about?
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that people should be excited about, especially the community initiatives, as I said previously. But also, I'm very excited to say that we are partnering with an organization to build a school. Location still to be announced, but I'm very much looking forward to the social impact, let's say, party to announce this partnership and talk more about it. But in general, also very much wanted to say big thanks to the community who have been supporting us, to all of our team members who have been actively working very hard to bring this social impact to their own communities and across the world. And just in general, want to say that constructive criticism is always very much welcome, and any type of suggestions also from the community that can make our work, better and improve our social impact across the world. Please do reach out to us and share those with us.
Thank you, Danijela. Andy, any top priorities, most exciting things coming up, or closing thoughts from you?
I think I'll end off with some closing thoughts. I think community is very important, not just the crypto side of things, but community in general is very important. So if you want, and everyone, man, I'm just talking to every one of you here, if you want to see better social impact, things that are more impactful, be it poverty, be it human rights and so forth, always come back to the association, always speak to the leadership team, give us the right kind of feedback, and then from there, collectively, we might be putting up a new program just to address to some of these needs of yours. So the voice of the community is very important. Try to work together. And again, the word that I always tell my own community is don't FUD yourself, man. A lot of these guys, I love Elongate a lot, but then have some doubts, but they actually voice it out in a manner that is not so appropriate. By voicing that out, yes, you are speaking aloud, but then it also creates a lot of fear and unnecessary bad vibes from there, right? So if you have any doubts, go back to the leadership team, and then ask them directly. They will reply to you. If they don't reply to you, please don't text me, because I'm not going to reply to them. But just kidding. But if they do not reply to you, try to talk to them again, because there are a lot of members in this space, in the crypto space. And again, if you look at the non-crypto space, there are people who are putting up requests to the association to ask us to help them. All this will be placed into a consideration, and we will have monthly meetings to look at how to deal with some of these issues that we can handle. Because EG Association, although is empowered by crypto, we are just small and we are growing, right? There's no way we can address to everyone at the same time. So give us some time, and we will definitely come back to you with the right set of answers. The team members, the board members especially, we are all very seasoned businessmen, civil servant, and have worked for a long time. So let us use our experience to try and drive the association to create better impacts, and fulfill some of the mission that we are here to set forth. So community members, please try as much as possible, stay together, and work together. Thanks.
Well said, Andy. I think the community is definitely an exceptional one that I've seen in the crypto space. So I'm really excited to be part of it, and I'm excited to work alongside both of you. So it's super exciting to have this live stream today. But with that, I think we'll close it out. If you need to find Andy, you can find him on Twitter and follow him on Twitter. If you need to reach out to the team, you know where to do it on any of our platforms. So thanks again to Danijela. Thank you again, Andy. And we'll be in touch very soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Danelle and Alex.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.